How's it going everyone, it's Vivi and welcome back to the channel. So for this video I just want to discuss, nothing too special, nothing too complicated, I just want to talk. Let's talk about Sanzaru Games, why not? It seems like the developer is very busy with VR lately. In 2016 they released Ripcoil, VR Sports Challenge, both published by Oculus, and then we got Tron, a runner style game for PC, Xbox and PS4. That one was published by Disney. Oh, and let's not forget about Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which got released in 2016 as well for the 3DS. Here's how I see it. Wherever there's an opportunity, the team will follow it. It's all business at the end of the day. And talking about opportunities, at D23 they revealed their recent project, another VR project by Oculus, Marvel Powers United, which is planned for 2018. So there's another VR game right there. Should we lose hope for Sly Cooper 5? Is Sanzaru all about virtual reality these days? Well, no, I wouldn't say yes. Let's rewind. In 2014, they said no Sly Cooper 5 on Facebook, and that was 3 days after the release of Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, which completely bombed, critically wise at least. And yeah, we can say they were busy with Sonic Boom at that time in 2014, we can say Sony didn't really approach them for Sly 5, okay. And reading their reply, it sounded very scary, like we are no longer working on Sly Cooper. Still, to this day, many seem to be confused in the comments. They seem to be blaming Sanzaru Games for not having Sly 5. It's not up to them, it's up to Sony. Looking back at this reply, I feel like those were Sony's words. And why am I saying this? Because Sanzaru is interested with Sly Cooper. They never lost interest. At E3 2015, Matt Kramer said, "We're up for it, but it's up to Sony to make the decision." And not only that, there was a fan interview a couple of months back, I even made a video about that. Matt Kramer, again, he said, "We can't leave Sly in ancient Egypt, right?" Pretty much implying that if we're given the opportunity, we'll work on Sly Cooper 5, no doubt about that. Now hey, they're making another game for Oculus. It seems like the team is busy. I thought so too, but someone on Twitter reminded me that, hey dude, what if they're composed of several teams? It doesn't sound far-fetched. I'm not saying that part of the team is working on Sly 5. All I'm trying to say is that the developer is not limited to VR only. I mean, look at the number of games they released in 2016. Sonic, and then they focused on VR. That right there can tell us that they're composed of at least more than one team, right? They managed to release Sonic for the 3DS, their second game, and then VR titles later. How big is the team to be exact? Well, I don't know. Back in 2010, on their archived blog, they hit 60. This was back in 2010. And this was before Sly 4 was even a thing. Back then, in 2010, Sanzaru had pitched an idea to Sony. Sony saw that, but then told the team to make a collection first. With that being done, they greenlit Sly 4. Now guys, be honest in the comments section. What was your reaction when they announced Sly 4? If it weren't for Sanzaru Games, do you think Sucker Punch would have made another Sly Cooper game, looking at how they moved on to Infamous? That's actually why Sanzaru pitched the idea to Sony. This very small team, who were fans of Sly Cooper, thought that hey, Sucker Punch is busy, why not show Sony a prototype? That's how Thieves in Time turned out to be a thing. And me, to be honest, I'm super happy that Sanzaru Games brought us another Sly Cooper. Sure, some of you completely dislike Sly Cooper 4. Everyone has opinions, that's alright. But I enjoyed it. Would you have preferred Sly Cooper to remain a small series, as in only 3 games, or would you have preferred to have more games? Sanzaru Games made it possible. Sure, we're in dry season right now, we have no idea what's going on, but with that cliffhanger which everyone hates, including me, just proves that another game can be easily made. And with all of these fan theories popping up these days, you just sit there and whoa, I never thought of that. Why not make a game which focuses like on those backstories and make it interesting? Now of course, some of you might say, was Sly Cooper 4 even necessary? Well, honestly, they could have stopped with Sly 3, but Sanzaru Games saw the ending of Sly 3 about the time machine, they decided to make a game out of that. Here's what I think, if the team can come up with fantastic ideas, sure, go ahead, make more games. And I'm sure that Sanzaru Games has the potential. With all of the reviews of Sly 4 and all of that, they can definitely improve. Okay, now, it might sound like I'm being way too optimistic right now, but when it comes to the Sly Cooper series, Sly 5, I still think it's gonna happen eventually. As for the movie, I am simply tired talking about that. I just don't want to waste any of your time. Seeing how platformers are starting starting to rise again, and assuming that Sanzaru Games is expanding, I'm sure we'll get the sequel eventually. Will they announce it at PSX 2017? Perhaps not, but the time will come. Oh, and talking about these events, apparently Sony held back at this year's E3. Not everything was shown. For example, The Last of Us 2 was absent, Sucker Punch's new IP, and about that, I believe Sucker Punch is working on a new project, not Sly Cooper. I mean, look, Sucker Punch has worked on 3 series so far. Rocket Robot on Wheels for the Nintendo 64, Sly Cooper, and Infamous, that's 3. I think the team is trying to develop something new. Has it been confirmed? Officially? Not exactly, but it's highly assumed, regardless of the rumors. Shuhei Yoshida, president of Worldwide Studios, has played their game multiple times apparently, but he didn't outright say that it's a new game they're working on. All we know so far is that the game is apparently fun. I've been hearing that the game is like open world RPG, and if you go onto Sucker Punch's website for the job openings, maybe that could give you some hints, but I'm not too sure about that. I mean, they're just job openings. I'm not gonna base my conclusion on that. Now, Yoshida explained all this during the Kinda Funny Games panel at E3 2017, and he said he shouldn't even be talking about it. Why would he hide Sly Cooper 5 if Sucker Punch was working on that project? I just don't see it. Now, Yoshida, he was sitting right there. If I were in that audience, I think I would have shouted, "Where's Sly Cooper 5? Like, the guy, he was sitting right there. He seems like a cool guy. Can you imagine? The person who makes the decision sitting right in front of you. How many times has Sanzaru Games said to message Yoshida? That's the guy right there. Also, during PlayStation Live, Yoshida said, "We're listening to fans, what they want us to bring back." Look, if they're open to remake ideas, Sly 4 ended with a cliffhanger. We need a conclusion, right? You can't just end a game like that. If anything, make comics to end the story, but that's not what we want, to be honest. We want a game, right? But I'm just saying, the game needs a conclusion. I hope Sony knows that. What else is there to consider? If you're open to remake/remaster ideas, why not just make a sequel to a game which really needs it? What's stopping them? The sales maybe, but publishers, they take risks all the time. I mean, hey, they're trying to take the risk with new remasters. What are the odds of those remasters failing, financial-wise? Why not simply take that risk with Sly Cooper 5? And who knows, if they were to make a new remaster, it could probably be even worse than Sly 4, right? But, you know, remasters, they're remasters. It's the story from the beginning that's gonna probably capture people's attention a lot better. But with the right amount of promoting and marketing, whether it's sequels or the beginning, it's going to sell. And if you want to promote the series even more, announce a PS4 collection for its 15th anniversary. You're worried about newcomers not understanding the series? Just release a collection. Now, what's this big deal about the TV show? I'm not gonna talk too much about that, to be honest, but Sony Interactive Entertainment is involved. Now, who knows how the TV show is going to turn out? So wait a minute. Sony said yes to a TV show, but not a game. They refused, let's say, to allow Sanzaru to develop Sly 5, but they say yes to a TV show, which is probably even more risky. Here's how I see it. SIE is allowing Technicolor to use their license. I'm sure there was a financial deal made between the two companies. As for the movie, Sony did not fund the movie. Rainmaker was the one who completely invested in that project. And for this TV show, apparently Blockade is also involved, so who knows what kind of deal was made between these 3 companies, Blockade, Sony, and Technicolor. That's the only way I'm understanding the current situation. Why would Sony invest in a TV show if they don't want to invest in Sly Cooper 5? A deal was made, I'm sure. Technicolor came up to them, hey, let's work with your IP and here's our deal. You don't completely have to invest in this project. Sony probably decided to take the risk. But one thing I don't understand is why can't they take the risk with the sequel? Who knows, Sony probably thought, hey, let's take the risk with this TV show. If many people watch the show, that means that a lot of people will also buy the games. But honestly, I don't know. I am confused and I'm very skeptical about this TV show. I just don't get it. What is going on in Sony's mind right now? We went from a movie which we thought was going to enter production soon to a TV show. So Sony said yes to a movie and a TV show, but not for a game. Was all of this planned in advance? Were they planning on releasing the movie first and then have Sanzaru work on Sly 5? It just doesn't make sense. You say yes to something that's going to appear in in theaters perhaps, and another thing which will appear on TV. The only conclusion I can jump to is a deal was made and Sony is not heavily involved in the investment. Hey, they're not making Sly 5, why not make a couple of bucks by simply having a company use our license? Sly Cooper 5 isn't a thing right now because they don't want to invest. But as for the TV show and movie, like I said like 5 times already, they're not the major investor. How else are you supposed to explain all this? Now look, this is just me talking, I'm not the expert in this, so I don't know what is going on. But all I'm hoping for at least is the announcement of a collection for the PS4. And talking about the PS4 collection, Sanzaru Games seems to be active on Twitter since the announcement of their recent project. And someone apparently tweeted at them about this collection and they liked the tweet. Now guys, do not overanalyze this tweet. All this means is Sanzaru is interested with the idea. If Sony says yes to a collection, then Sanzaru might work on it. They've made other collections in the past, so it makes sense. Oh, that means we have a lot of power now. Should we spam their Twitter? No. Like I said, it's not up to them, it's up to Sony. Even if you keep asking them for Sly 5, they're gonna reply to you the same way. Ask Sony, ask Yoshida. Yoshida replying on Twitter, low chances of happening, unless thousands of people tweet Sly 5 at Yoshida. Part of me is like, why even beg? Sly Cooper is a great series, why not just release the game? Look at Ratchet & Clank. Sure, Sly 4 didn't sell as well as the others, but take the risk. But anyways guys, I think I've said enough. So like I said in the beginning, the whole point of this video was just to talk. Nothing impressive, nothing like that. But anyways, as usual, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been VV, and thank you for watching.